Good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning to you. Welcome to the Traveling Tarot. This is your daily psychic forecast for Tuesday, October 1st, 2019. Welcome to October. My name is Stephen Dillard Carroll. Welcome to October. Welcome to October, everybody. October. What to say about October? I'm not sure. I'm not sure just yet what to say about October, except for, we're moving forward. We are moving forward in life. We're progressing in life. Things are going well. And that's the attitude that perhaps we should take on is things are going well, and believing that things are going well and that we are in the harvest time of the good and positive things that we planted early in the spring. We are certainly in that harvest period and harvesting the bounty of our good and positive intentions for the year. So definitely be thankful and be excited that the good and positive intent that you set forward at the beginning of spring this year are starting to come to their full power, and it's time to reap those rewards. So while you're reaping, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. And if you know someone who might benefit from some empowerment, some encouragement, and a whole heap and healthy dose of unconditional love, please do send them to this channel. Share the videos with them and say, hey, you might need a little bit of unconditional love and if you do, then this is the channel for you, because that is what we are all about on this channel. Unconditional love for ourselves first and foremost, and then unconditional love for our fellow persons, our fellow spirits. So, this is a reading for the collective today. And by the way, thank you for commenting, subscribing, and sharing. I really do appreciate you. This is a reading for our collective today, and as it is every day. And I always structure my readings so that hopefully, regardless of your current circumstance, you can glean something good and positive from it. And that is my hope for you today. And of course, my other hope for you today is that you finish this video feeling empowered and feeling emboldened that you can and you will and you are making good and positive choices. You're making good and positive changes so that you can live your best life. And that's, again, my hope for you today. So without further ado, let's jump into today's major plot line for today. We have our major storyline that is a thoroughfare for this entire reading, and then we have two subplots that give depth and color to the main storyline for today. So let's jump right on into it. And our main storyline is brought to us by Ace of Michael. Ace of Michael, which is denoted by the Ace of Swords in the Rider-Waite deck. So here we are, Ace of Michael. And the Ace of Michael says, a wonderful new idea. Don't allow bumps in the road to hinder your progress. Clear up communication problems with others. Okay. I love it. So we've got a wonderful new idea. Keep moving forward, even though there's bumps in the road. And clear up your communication problems with others. We can certainly do all three of those. It is within our power to do all three of those today, and we will delve even deeper into those ideas today with our subplots for today. And our first subplot today is brought to us by the Queen of Ariel, our matron saint, our guardian angel, our person of the traveling tarot. The Queen of Ariel comes up more often than any other card in the deck, and it's because she has a lot to say, and very well, so be it. Let's see what she has to say today. The Queen of Ariel is mature, practical, generous, and happy. Nurture yourself and those you love. The ability to make anything more beautiful. Practical and wise advice. So there we are, our matron saints of the Traveling Tarot's YouTube channel, the Queen of Ariel. And we certainly do try to make things more beautiful on this channel. So we'll see what she has to say specifically for today's energy and how that connects with our Ace of Michael. And we'll see what our third subplot has to say as well. And our third subplot is brought to us today by the Ten of Michael. The Ten of Michael, which is denoted, of course, by the Ten of Swords in the Rider-Waite deck. And the Queen of Ariel is the Queen of Pentacles in the Rider-Waite deck. So here we are, the Ten of Michael, or the Ten of Swords. And the Ten of Michael is a situation has ended, and you are finally free. New opportunities for happiness will now follow. Put the past behind you. And I've said this before, I much prefer this interpretation of the Ten of Michael to the one in the Rider-Waite deck, because the one in the Rider-Waite deck is pretty gruesome. It's pretty gory, it's pretty gruesome. But this one is much more uplifting, and I like uplifting messages, so I actually prefer this to the Ten of Michael, unless it is a situation wherein someone really, really needs to be slapped upside the head. And that's when the Ten of Swords is very helpful for that. So the Ten of Michael is basically saying, a situation has ended and you are finally free. It's time to move on from that particular situation. So, yeah. Okay, I can already see a pattern going on here. So let's start with the Ace of Michael. A wonderful new idea. Don't allow bumps in the road to hinder your progress. Clear up communication problems with others. There may be someone out there today that has a wonderful new idea, or wants to start a new project, or wants to start a new hobby, or wants to start a new thing. When inspiration comes to you, don't ignore it. When inspiration comes to you, write it down if you can't focus on it right then and there, and make a commitment to revisit that particular commitment or that particular idea, that particular inspiration later on in the day. There's somebody out there that has an idea that they just know will work. And it could really be anything. I'm trying to steer away from, career and work, but it might even be career and work. Because a lot of us have jobs that perhaps do not allow for wonderful new ideas, that don't allow for creativity. And if that's the case, then perhaps this has to do with your personal life. But don't dismiss inspiration. Don't dismiss wonderful, beautiful ideas that come to you. Don't dismiss them as impossible. Don't dismiss them as something that's out of your wheelhouse. Don't dismiss them as something that is outside of your abilities and talent. Excuse me, I've got some hiccups going on. Do not get in your own way. The Ace of Michael is saying that inspiration that you have is a good inspiration. Give it time to breathe, give it time to grow, and see how it can be expanded upon. Do not block the blessings by saying, I'm not this enough, I'm not that enough, I'm not pretty enough, I'm not tall enough, I'm not skinny enough, I'm not, my hair is not long enough, my hips are not wide enough, my shoulders are not wide enough, my legs aren't as strong as they should be. I came in last at the math science fair. Don't put up roadblocks that don't exist, which again, don't allow bumps in the road to hinder your progress. Those bumps in the road can sometimes be bumps that we create ourselves. I'm not good enough, I'm not strong enough, I'm not fast enough, I'm not whatever enough. There is a plaque, or it can even be a wall hanging that says you are enough. And I love that idea of you are enough. You're damn right I am. I am enough. And guess what? So are you. You are enough. You have exactly everything that it takes to accomplish whatever the hell you want to do. Don't put yourself in a situation where you are sabotaging your own success. Please don't do it. Because the world needs you. And it might seem like you are one person on a planet full of trillions of people, and while that is true, you would not be here unless you had something unique to give to this world. You have something unique to give to this world, or you simply would not be here. You have an experience that is needed and necessary. You have a journey that is needed and necessary. Who you are as a spirit is needed and necessary for the growth and evolution of this planet. You are special. You are unique. You are beautiful. Do not get in your own way. And we're moving on to the Queen of Ariel, as far as that is concerned. Mature, practical, generous, happy. Nurture yourself and those you love. Love yourself enough to believe in yourself. Love yourself enough to believe in yourself. One more time for the people in the back. Love yourself enough to believe in yourself. Because when you do, you are contributing to the growth and evolution of this planet. You have a wonderful idea. You have a beautiful idea. The ability to make anything more beautiful, you have that. You have that. Your idea is going to make the world a better place. Even if your idea only benefits directly your own household, people watch people. If you have something that someone else doesn't have and it's good and positive, people are attracted to that. People are drawn to that. And so be an agent of change within your own circle of influence, because your circle of influence has people in it that have their own circle of influences, and those circle of influences have their own circle of influences, and so it expands and it grows out from there. It's sort of like dropping a pebble in the middle of a pond. The waves expand and grow and move out from that. You have the ability to make anything more beautiful. Whatever idea that is bouncing around in your cranium right now is an idea that will make the world more beautiful, even if it's within your tiny little circle of influence, because we all have our tiny little circle of influence. that idea is going to influence your circle, which will influence their circles, which will influence their circles. And you may not even see it. You may not be able to track it that way. You may not even see how that little thing that you did made the world a better place. But know that it did. If you are working from an intention of love and light, then whatever you are doing is spreading that love and light to other people. The ability to make anything more beautiful. But you have to believe in yourself, which means nurture yourself and those you love. Nurture yourself enough so that you can believe in yourself enough to do what is necessary. Don't get in your own way. The Ace of Michael is saying, don't allow bumps in the road to hinder your progress. Don't do it. We sabotage ourselves way too often. Don't do it in this case. Your idea is going to change the world. Even if it's within your little circle of influence, it changes the world. It just does. Clear communication problems with others. I think that is advice that stands on its own. Practical and wise advice, Queen of Ariel. Clean up communication problems. There may be some people out there that you're speaking English and they're speaking Klingon. And for some reason, you're not getting each other. It's practical and wise advice to figure out a way to bridge that communication gap. There may be some people out there that are frustrated because the person that they are with just doesn't get them. Understood. Do what's necessary so that you can clean up that communication between yourself and other people. Finally, the Ten of Michael, the situation has ended and you are finally free. New opportunities for happiness will now follow. Put the past behind you. For the last 2 days, we've been talking about turning the page, turning the corner, starting a new chapter. The Ten of Michael is building on that theme of it's time for a new thing. It's time for a new thing. It's time, one more time for the people in the back, for a new thing. It's time for a wonderful new thing. It's time to be focused on the new thing that will kickstart your evolution, that will kickstart your spiritual evolution. The time is now. Whatever situation that you went through before, it has ended. And the other thing, as far as that goes, is past performance is not indicative of future results. What I mean by that is you may have had a wonderful idea in the past. You may have had a beautiful idea in the past. You may have had an idea whose time simply hadn't come yet. And it crashed and it burned. And it didn't go anywhere. If that is the case, past performance is not indicative of future results. Excuse me. Just because it crashed and burned before does not mean this new idea is going to follow the same trajectory. And in fact, the Ten of Michael is saying that it's probably not, because a situation has ended and you are finally free. You're finally free. New opportunities for happiness will now follow. If you were in that same loop, if you were still in that same learning process, if you hadn't gotten what you were supposed to get, if you needed to repeat patterns in order to learn whatever life lesson that you need to learn, this card did not come up. This card is saying, look, You don't have to repeat the same pattern anymore. You have actually learned what you need to learn. There is a reason why whatever wonderful, new, brilliant, beautiful idea that you had before crashed and burned and didn't go anywhere. And more than likely, it had very little to do with what you were actually doing. It had more to do with either A, it just was not time yet, or B, there was a lesson, a deeper lesson that you had to learn within that failure. Excuse me. The Ten of Michael is saying you've learned what you needed to learn. A situation has ended and you are finally free. This is saying that whatever you have on in the cooking in the kitchen in your mind, the time has finally come for it. Now is the time. Put the past behind you. Past performance is not indicative of future results. Point blank, period. Whatever you went through in the past is not going to determine how things happen in the future for you. Point blank, period. There you go. So, again, don't get in your own way. And it ties back into the Ace of Michael. Don't allow bumps in the road to hinder your progress. Don't get in your own way. Believe in yourself. Nurture yourself and those you love. Nurture yourself in unconditional love so that you have the capacity to believe in yourself unconditionally, which will allow you to move forward with whatever idea you have because you believe in yourself enough to move forward and you love yourself enough to believe in yourself enough to move forward. It is all connected. I encourage you to move forward with whatever good and positive plan you've got going on. Now's the time. Your time has come. Thank you, universe, for it. What a wonderful, wonderful reading. What a wonderful, wonderful blessing for today. We appreciate it. We will apply it to our lives and we will be deeper and more our capacity to unconditionally love ourselves and unconditionally love each other will deepen because of these lessons today. And so now it's time for our nitty-gritty. And we will do a 3-card spread, a morning card, an afternoon card, and an evening card to see if there's anything more specific the universe has to tell us today. So we'll give it this last shuffle, and we will cut the cards, and let's see what the universe has to say. The universe is saying cut it one more time, so there you go. So here we are. Morning, afternoon, and evening. All swords. It's interesting. We've got, out of the 6 cards, 5 of them are sword cards. Very, very interesting. Swords are about intellect. Swords are about communication and intellect. So, and being in our own mind and working with our mind to help us live our best life possible. And it's interesting that all these cards are, except for the Queen of Ariel, our matron saint, are sword cards. So clearly, matters of the mind, matters of the intellect, matters of communication are vitally important to us today. So we will start with the 7 of swords, or the 6 of swords, excuse me. The 6 of swords. There we are. This is our morning card. The 6 of swords says that wherever you go, there you are. There may be somebody out there that is like, in order for this plan to work, I have to be, in a major metropolitan area. I have to be in Los Angeles or New York or Atlanta or Chicago or Dallas or Miami or wherever, or Nashville or wherever the big hubs or centers of the world are in, at least in this country. I need to be there in order for this plan to work out. And the Six of Swords is saying, that's fine. If you do decide to move, that's fine, but wherever you go, there you are. And I believe that that has more to do with getting in your own way, getting out of your own mind, and stepping out of your own way. Regardless of whether you're in a town of 50, 500, 50,000, or 5 million, or 500 million, regardless of where you are, there you are. You can as easily sabotage yourself in Podunk, Iowa as you can in New York City. And that is point blank period. There are people in New York City that sabotage themselves each and every day. So it's important. If you want to move, the universe is good with that. If you're looking at moving, okay, let's move. Let's pack things up and let's pack the U-Haul and let's move forward with life. But keep in mind that wherever you go, there you are. Don't sabotage yourself. The universe is on board with this move if that is something that you want to do. But just keep in mind that wherever you go, there you are. And it's interesting that we have the Seven of Swords now as our afternoon/midday kind of a card. Kind of a card. I don't know. Kind of a card. The Seven of Swords. This is saying that there might be someone. Surround yourself with people that will be your biggest cheerleaders. When you have this wonderful idea, and you have this brilliant idea, and this beautiful idea, and this idea that's going to change the world, the worst thing that you can have in your corner are people that don't believe in you. The people that talk trash about you. People that discourage you from pursuing your dreams. People that actively get in your way of succeeding. There may be somebody or some people in your lives, and I get the feeling that it's more than one person, that really doesn't want to see you succeed because they're not succeeding. And they will actively try to sabotage you at every point. I see that happening for somebody out there today. That there is somebody out there that is sabotaging them at every turn. Just because you're paranoid doesn't necessarily mean that they're not after you. Our Seven of Swords is saying, surround yourself with cheerleaders. Surround yourself with people that will rah, 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 sis, boom, bah, anything good and positive that you have going on in your life. Surround yourself with people that unconditionally love you and unconditionally support any good and positive thing that you have going on and that you're trying to succeed with in life. Cut out the people that are trying to sabotage you. Ask the universe to reveal those people to you, and then be open for the veil to be lifted and for you to actually see people for who they really are. When you see those people for who they really are, immediately cut them out of your lives because you don't need them. There is somebody out there that is trying to sabotage you. Be careful. And finally, the Ace of Swords, which is in the reverse position and is the Ace of Michael. As we said, the Ace of Swords is represented by the Ace of Michael and vice versa. So we've got two, but the Ace of Swords is in the reverse position, which says that sometime during the day you're going to start doubting yourself again. Sometime during the day you're going to start second guessing yourself and feeling as if, well, perhaps I can't in fact do what I have been setting out to do. Don't sabotage yourself. Don't allow bumps in the road to hinder your progress. Get out of your own way. This is tough. This one is tough because of perhaps your past. This one is tough because because all you can base your life on is past performance. It's tough to pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and say, okay, time to try again. Back to the drawing board. It's tough. It's hard. It is so very difficult. And I understand and I get it. But the Ace of Swords is saying, Ace of Michael is saying, you don't have to be that way. Past performance is not indicative of future results. Point blank, period. There we go. Thank you, universe, for this lesson. We are going to do a work affirmator. We haven't touched on our work affirmators in a good long time. We've been focusing in on love and relationships and personal lives, but today was definitely a work kind of a reading, and so we're going to do our work affirmators. So let's shuffle these cards a few times. And let's cut them. And our affirmator for today is decisiveness. Okay. Decisiveness. There we are. Decisiveness. I go with my gut, and when faced with decisions, I make my choices quickly and confidently. I trust my experience and skill, and I will boldly and proudly go anywhere they lead me. Except IKEA on a Saturday. Come on, guys. Okay. I go with my gut, and when faced with decisions, I make my choices quickly and confidently. I trust my experience and skill, and I will boldly and proudly go anywhere they lead me. It's all about having faith in yourself. This is saying, I believe in myself. I have faith in myself. I'm going with my gut. I make my choices quickly, and I make my choices confidently, and I know that whatever I do will work out eventually. Decisiveness. The universe is asking us to be decisive today in everything that we do. What a wonderful, wonderful affirmation. And so while you are being decisive, decide to love yourself. Decide to love yourself fully. Decide to love yourself completely. Decide to love yourself unconditionally. Decide to love yourself wholly. I think I said that twice, but that's okay. Decide to love yourself first, and decide to love yourself foremost. And when you do, everything else will fall into line. Have a wonderful Tuesday, everybody, and I will see you tomorrow.